to the obvious. You guys ran the ball as well as they've run it here in a very long time, and you did it with, a running back, Sean Tucker, that we haven't seen much of. I know you had. Is there any way that you would not envision just riding the Buck and Tuck show as hard as you can for the rest of the?
Nah, I mean, I think this is a long season, right? And obviously Sean stepped up in a critical moment for us in a big game, and obviously displayed a lot of things that we have seen in practice, but a lot of things, we haven't been able to see because of the not being able to tackle, right? And so, he did a fantastic job of breaking tackles and running hard, and this is a long season. We're going to need all three of those guys to really carry us for the rest of the season. So all the guys are going to play. They're going to get reps, and at the end of the day, whoever's given us the best opportunity to win throughout that game will probably get the majority of the carries. And you guys know that the running back position, as we've already seen, is pretty volatile. Those guys take probably some of the more vicious hits than anybody. So long year, need all three of them to be at their best in order for us to continue that running success.
You said, though, from this podium that it's really difficult to get two guys the ball, much less three. So,
it is.
And from a game planning standpoint, don't necessarily go into it thinking you're getting all three going, right?
No, I mean, you got to get all three of them a series early on. I mean, that's at the end of the day, that's what it's going to have to be, is all three of those guys are going to get a series, and really kind of whoever's giving us the best opportunity. And this is a game that we're going to need to break tackles and need to run violently. So whoever's giving us that, we'll be able to ride that.
In terms of the offensive balance that you want, how much does a game like Sunday help you as you go into a game where they have the #1 run defense in the NFL?
Yeah, I think some of that stuff, obviously, not to take anything away from them, they are a very good defense. This is going to be our biggest challenge up to date. Some of that has gotten a little skewed because of the leads that they've jumped out on. I mean, you see them up 21-0 after a quarter of play or a quarter and a half of play. Balance gets thrown out the window. So, we have got to be able to run the football, obviously, to try to remain balanced, to try to keep them from making us, one-sided and just predictable. So, if you get into a passing game against them and drop back every snap, it's probably not going to be a fun movie. Although, the stats would tell you otherwise. Well, those stats are a little bit skewed. They can rush the passer at a high level.
There were times in the SEC when you were at Kentucky, you went up against the likes of Georgia's defense, Alabama's, where they're just not going to let you run.
Right.
How difficult is that as an offensive coordinator to balance if we keep it up, these 2 and 3s might turn into 5 and 6s, or you have to worry about wasting down.
That's right.
It's futile.
Yeah, especially possessions against these guys because of the time of possession that they've been able to hold, and the way that they play on offense, and then they get up to those leads and make you one-dimensional. We just can't allow that. We have got to obviously limit the turnovers and the penalties that put us backwards in the second quarter last week. We cannot have those. We have to play clean and give our guys a chance. I mean, that's the biggest thing, is we have to try to stay balanced as much as we can while understanding maybe what's going on the other side of the ball. How are they playing? What's the flow of the game like? Because at the end of the day, those penalties and turnovers, they affect the whole team, not just our inability to score. It puts our defense in bad positions. It puts our special teams in poor positions. So we have got to play clean from an operational standpoint, so to then just give us an opportunity to go compete and try to be as balanced as possible.
We talked about possibly giving each back a series to show his worth.
Yeah.
Is there any danger of inhibiting fast starts by doing that?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think at the end of the day, we can start fast regardless of who's in. I believe that. I trust that. The last 3 weeks we've gone out and scored on the first possession, and that's more so just because the guys are clicking and they're doing their job and they're pass protecting and we're catching and we're getting open, and I have full belief and trust in whoever's in those moments will be able to give us a fast start.
And Chris Godwin had one heck of a game for you. Not quite sure what the thinking was there at the end of the half. throwing the ball to Tristan Wirfs.
It wasn't how it was supposed to be
Yeah,
designed.
right. Just talk to us about that.
No, it was just we're trying to create a play, and we have it. We just probably haven't repped it enough to get it as clean as it needs to be. So they were supposed to be blocking over on that side for a potential throwback, but not obviously to the lineman.
He caught it cleanly.
How, you guys, it was a record-setting day with all the yards and all that. I know you're on Peter Schrager's podcast saying, despite that, you still haven't played
Right.
all 4 quarters.
Yeah.
So you guys can be even better than those numbers that you put up on?
It's more just cleaner. I think that's the thing we're really striving for is, our staff, credit to them for keeping our guys engaged all last week throughout a stressful week. I thought our staff, our coaches, our assistants did a phenomenal job last week and of keeping the guys engaged, and they were very locked into the plan. And then really what occurred last Sunday was players making plays. There wasn't anything that we really did differently in terms of, like, I wasn't just making these great calls and stuff. Like, they were executing, they were breaking tackles. We throw a check down and Chris breaks it for 55 yards. Like, that's players over plays, and that was the case on Sunday. But we still did some things that are critical mistakes that against maybe a different quarterback or a different situation, that will put us into a position we don't want to be in, that will inhibit us from going to be able to score and put our team in the best possible position to be successful. So it was great. There was a lot of stats and accolades and people are all excited. That's great. But we know that we can play a lot cleaner, and whether that results in 51 points and yards and all that, I don't know. But we can't play a quarter of football like that and expect to win a lot of games.
I know Sterling Shepard's made some plays for you, but he probably had maybe more penalties that hurt you the other day. But do you still need that third receiver to emerge, because they're going to constantly, obviously, focus on Mike and Chris?
That's critical this week. We need that Z position to be trusted upon, to come in and execute. I love Shep. A couple of those were, a little iffy, but his energy, the way he's in the huddle, in the locker room, pregame, on the sidelines, like, I love Shep's energy, love being around him. But we do need some more production out of that position. We also need to trust that position in order to throw them the ball and stuff. But you saw Ryan Miller get involved, have a huge catch on a critical situation where things weren't looking so hot. He catches a flat route down the sidelines for 34 yards, whatever it was. That's a big play. So that's a player stepping up, in which we're going to continue to need, especially in such an early part of the season.
Anything else?
Just one more on Tucker.
Yeah.
What is it that you, like, when he's out here, is he, he's a scout squad or
Right.
whatever, special teams, did you have a pretty good understanding, or was it just, there are guys that take advantage of opportunities, and
Right.
then there's guys who you sit back and you go, whoa, like, this guy was a good player in college, and
Oh, yeah.
now he's that guy.
We've seen it. I mean, we've seen flashes of that for sure. I mean, you go back to OTAs even, he had some flashes of moments.
Yeah.
And then all through training camp, he had flashes of moments. You look at the preseason game against Cincinnati, you saw flashes of moments. But Tuck's the guy that's sitting in the meeting room, sitting up, eyes up, taking every single note, writes down everything you say, is always engaged. Just credit to him for staying on the course. And when his moment came, he took full advantage of it. And so it's a good problem to have, and really proud of the kid, really proud of Sean and for what he was able to help us do on Sunday.
This might be a little difficult to quantify, but as Baker has progressed in this offense week after week, and I know that obviously, you're calling the plays that are working, but at the same time, he's making some of those checks at the line of scrimmage based upon what he's seeing. Have you noticed the percentage of the times he's changing the plays increase for the better? In other words, is he becoming a better student of this offense to make more right calls?
I would say so. I would say that sometimes, we've got to make sure we see how much is too much, but I would definitely agree that he is taking steps forward in this, even though some of those picks, you know, one of them he could really control, a couple he couldn't really control. I was really pleased with the way he played for the most part on Sunday. He is getting us into, you know, the right looks, like some of the runs that we are going into cleaner looks, and that's him doing his job and making sure we are in those right looks. And then some of the plays that he's had to get out of, we were able to be efficient on. I wouldn't know exactly the percentage of success rate when he is changing the play. It's more so just like when he does have a couple options, just making sure we are in the right ones. He's done a really nice job so far.
Okay, thank you.